the theme park capital of the world, bringing you the latest in theme park news. Welcome to the Thrill Geek Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Thrill Geek Podcast. I'm Clint.
I'm Barry.
I'm Janine.
And welcome back to another recording, which once again, on this episode, we are going to be bringing you guys the latest in theme park news, which is going to be very Universal centered again on this recording. I swear, we're not a Universal podcast. But Universal once again made their seasonal announcements for this year. DreamWorks Land. We got another Epic Universe announcement. You can see my Kronos back here behind me if you're watching the video version. So we'll get into that and all the other announcements. So I kind of want to take a few minutes to kind of at the beginning of these recordings to kind of say what we've been up to. If anybody's been up to anything fun, Barry, I know you went to a concert. So
I went to Dallas to see the Foo Fighters kick off their 2024 US tour.
Yeah,
for almost 3 hours. It was.
It looked like it was
amazing. It was awesome. It was great to be at a concert again like that. And it had been 6 years since the last time I saw them. So we were 20 rows from the stage. It was
yeah.
amazing.
You look like you had good seats.
Yeah.
So
getting
Janine?
back home was a pain in the ass, but if anyone saw my tweet,
I saw
Tampa.
Yeah, I saw it. Janine, anything exciting going on with you in your life? Anything?
I mean, I went to a concert on Wednesday for a band called Era. They're a metal band that I've listened to for a bit, but did like a meet and greet with them and knew that the lead vocalist was a gamer and didn't realize though how much of a gamer he was. And we nerded out over our previous escapades on World of Warcraft, and it was a good time.
That's always cool, making those kind of little personal connections when you meet somebody famous like that. Usually you're just like cheesing out, and like if they're just like a small band or what have you, it's cool to have that personal connection with somebody when it's something nerdy like that too. You're like, oh yeah, we're gonna nerd out.
And we played semi-similar characters who were like, oh, this is cool. And my friend who was with us just like goes nerd at us, and we just like kind of stared at her at the same time. We're like, we just had the same reaction. It was like the Spider-Man's pointing at each other. So pretty good.
That's awesome. As far as me, I got a new family car, so that's exciting. Got a new swag wagon. For those of you that follow me on Twitter, you guys saw that. Had to go down to West Palm Beach and pick that up because I wanted that color. I wanted that red, and it's a pretty color. So that's what's going on in my life. Exciting. And I went to a couple Disney media events. One for Disney Cruise Line. They invited us out, and we got some more details about Lighthouse Point and everything going on there. I am going to be uploading a bonus podcast episode, which I'll talk a little bit more at the end of this recording. When I'll post that and stuff. And then I went to Hollywood Studios for their 35th anniversary. Well, that was first. And then next was the Disney Cruise Line. It was 2 days of craziness. So Disney invited us out to go check out the 35th. They had a little ceremony and a few other little things going on at Hollywood Studios for the 35th, which I still need to get that video up on the YouTube channel. I never got it up, so I'm slacking. I'm sorry.
Yes. How dare you?
So anyways, all right. So let's dive into the good stuff here. Let's get on with all of these Universal announcements because there are a lot of them.
It's been so much stuff lately. And we're getting into HHN season soon.
I know.
So it's just going to be rapid fire everything all at once.
So, okay. First things first here. Let me get my iPad back here up and running. Okay. We're going to start off with the new Harry Potter show, Hogwarts Always It's the Hogwarts Always Castle projection show. This will be coming later on this summer. And what did you guys think about this announcement for a new nighttime show for Potter? Because the last time we got one, it's been, I was going to say villain one, but the Dementor one and that one.
Yeah.
So it's been several years since we've gotten a new Potter projection show. So what did you guys think about this?
So not gonna lie, my first thing when I read it was, oh, we're gonna hear from the Sorting Hat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'll be cool. My only thing whenever there's like nighttime shows back there, it's just there's a lot of people. That's always my thoughts about it. But I think it's neat that it's going to be something, and it'll be, again, more fan things for all the Potter people. I think it'll be fun, and I know I'll probably be drugged to see it by one of my friends. But that was mostly my reaction, like, oh, this is cool.
Barry, any thoughts on it?
think it's well past due. One thing I noticed this past like holiday season is, remember, it used to be like crowd control and everything for those nighttime shows, and even like I think I was there Christmas week, and just no one was watching or barely watching the show. And I think it's, I think they realized they needed to do something new. The show has 4 different possible endings. So it's going to change every time. I think it's well past due. We'll see if it draws crowds again back there, because I definitely noticed like the older shows just weren't really drawing people anymore, because as far as the locals go, they've seen it. So
yeah. And I mean, basically the synopsis of the show is you're basically going to be following along a year's worth or a year at Hogwarts Castle. So yeah, no, it sounds really cool. I'm excited to see it. It kicks off June 14th in Hogsmeade at Islands of Adventure. So if you're coming down this summer to check that out, be sure to check that out. We got an opening date for DreamWorks Land, which is also June 14th. We already kind of knew everything about this, so I don't think we need to spend too much time kind of diving into the thing with the roller coaster, all the attractions going on inside, all the different themed. They got the Kung Fu Panda splash pad play area, and then obviously the roller coaster, which has been a lot of people have been seeing it, testing and everything. Janine, any thoughts? I know we haven't had you on the podcast about talking about DreamWorks Land. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I have a lot of fun memories of when it was Kid Zone. I grew up going to university. Yeah, I grew up going to USF, and so seeing
everybody's like, "Who's Fievel?"
Yeah, I know. Seeing how they're doing everything with the Kung Fu Panda area from how it was with Curious George, I think it's going to be really neat and really cool. And again, like I have a little one. I'm stoked to see how she reacts to everything, because it's all going to be opening a little bit before she's going to be ready, but it'll be still pretty fresh and new when she's ready to go and play around. Getting to see Woody Woodpecker reskin his roller coaster is really fun and exciting. Yeah. I think the front of the train still makes me laugh every single picture I see of it.
There's a lot of people that are like terrified about it.
Yeah, it's a little scary.
It's a little creepy.
We like scary stuff over here, but it's I don't know. I'm excited to see how everything kind of parses itself out. It's definitely been a well-needed change to that area. And I'm curious, the live show, the DreamWorks Imagination Celebration, I'm really curious to see what that's going to consist of, what it's going to be for families and everything. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see everything as it opens, but I'm excited for it. I think it's a very needed change and upgrade and update to the park.
It was, like I said, the Fievel's Playland, no kids nowadays know who that Fievel is. Yeah. And, Curious George, maybe Curious George is still a little bit relevant, but that whole area was in desperate need of an overhaul. So, Barry, any thoughts on DreamWorks Land opening? I know we've already kind of talked about it, so I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
I mean, I think I'll be interested to see how the show is going to be, because definitely Mike Aiello, who's basically in charge of Universal Entertainment, pretty much hyped it up really well. So this is definitely not going to be the little dance show that they had last time. And I'm going to see all the interactive elements. That seems to be the big thing that they're pushing in this land. And then they announced the bubble wands, the interactive bubble wands and stuff that will interact in the land, and then also with the parade we're talking about coming up. It's a much needed addition to Universal Studios Florida, and it'll be interesting to see if in the future do they expand the land and add like a full blown major DreamWorks attraction,
like some kind of like e-ticket attraction almost.
Yeah. So it's well needed. That whole area needed updating, and looks like
be able to go into Shrek's
pretty
outhouse.
Impressive and pretty unique. So.
I mean, come on, we're going to be able to visit Shrek's outhouse, so that's exciting.
And the Shrek has become such I know it's been for quite a few years now, but it's become such a trend again on TikTok and on Instagram, people doing Shrek parties and all sorts of other things. So I think that's going to have good draw, not just from families, but also from the millennial crowd.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the nostalgia point now.
Absolutely.
And if you watch the last Puss in Boots movie, they sort of hinted that I
need to watch that, because
Jordan the Shrek and Donkey and all of them may be returning in a new movie. So
I haven't seen that one yet. What's the wolf villain? He's really creepy.
Yeah, it's really good. But
yeah, I need to watch it.
I haven't seen it.
It's really, really good.
I need to put that on my catch up watch list to check it out, because I think Cheryl took the kids to see it, but I was doing something else or somewhere else and I wasn't able to see it. So because she took them into the
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like as exciting as these last two things were, it's the next two things that I'm really excited for.
Yeah.
Even though we get no concept art, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's better. We'll be surprised at how ridiculous cool it's gonna be.
That's a great point, Janine. I'm almost like, I'm hoping they don't release too much concept artwork of the parade floats. I would love to be surprised. But yeah, speaking of the next thing, Universal Mega Movie Parade. This will be debuting July 3rd at Universal Studios Florida. I have to read this description, Barry. I know you don't like me reading descriptions here on the podcast, but let me have this one, because this is incredible. Okay.
Yeah.
Beginning July 3rd, some of the most beloved stories from Universal's films will leap onto the screen and into the streets of Universal Studios Florida for Universal Mega Movie Parade, a spectacular celebration of iconic movies, including E.T., Back to the Future, Jaws, Ghostbusters, Jurassic World, Illumination's Minion and Sing, and DreamWorks Animation's Troll and Kung Fu Panda. And then it says it will be Universal Orlando's biggest daytime parade to date. It'll feature 13 new floats, nearly 100 performers, including dancers, skaters, stilt walkers. Is that poi?
Poi, yeah.
Poi.
Yeah.
What are poi performers?
So now
anybody know what poi is?
No.
I don't know what poi is. And more, and special effects to create a jaw-dropping experience where guests can relive classic film moments in a whole new way. Guests will watch in awe as they see the massive 16-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man atop the Ghostbusters float, the colorful Catterbus and giant rainbows on the vibrant Trolls float, a live marching drum line performing iconic movie score of Jaws alongside a float themed to the film, and for the epic finale, a gyrosphere of raptors and the fierce Tyrannosaurus Rex aboard the Jurassic World float, and much more. That actually sounds a lot like I forgot what the name of Universal Studios Japan's parade is, but they have a Jurassic World. Yeah,
that only ran for 2 years, and
that was a really cool parade
after the pandemic. I think if you go to YouTube, if you've looked at that parade and then the current parade they have, that might give you an idea of the level of parade this thing's going to be. I feel like Universal is throwing down the gauntlet at Disney with this. It's just like, you want to see a real parade with 13 floats. That's like Tokyo Disney level size of a parade.
Yeah.
And the 100 performers is a wild number. And poi is the process of swinging tethered weights around through a variety of rhythmical and geometric patterns.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think that they've had that at Epcot before, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, the interesting things I think is like, have they mentioned all the IPs that are going to be in this parade? Because Nintendo's in the Japan parade.
Yeah. They said 13 floats, and in this description, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 that they named. Yeah. So I think they're holding back a few.
Yeah, and definitely it sounds like the finale is going to be probably like the nighttime parade from Japan. I'll be able to see will this parade be able to run day and night? That's
multiple performances.
Yeah, or can it run in the evening? But no, I'm definitely excited for this. I mean, this is what we've wanted. I feel like I know Clint and I have discussed for years now. For them to bring a real full blown parade. Originally, it was when the nighttime parade debuted in Japan. It's like, bring that here.
Yeah.
But
I remember you and I saying that several times on the live stream and whatnot. Of like, can you just please bring that parade over here?
Yeah. So I think
we're getting Ghostbusters.
We're getting 16-foot Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Stay Puft 16-foot Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So yeah.
Just the fact that the studios USF has some issues when it comes to attractions right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think DreamWorks Land opening, this new parade, and then the next thing we're about to talk about is really them pushing hard to get people to come to the studios, because they have no problem getting people to go to Islands of Adventure.
Yeah.
But I think, you give them a reason, this type of level of entertainment, I think that really helps the studios big time.
Go ahead, Janine. Sorry.
Yeah, and I mean that it's like you said, Barry, getting people to Iowa, no big deal. And they're going to be having a nighttime thing. And what we're going to be talking about next, being nighttime also, is going to be helpful for keeping people in the park for longer and making it a true full day experience versus, I know I was there on Saturday. You pop in for a couple of rides, you pop out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we've talked a lot about the Universal parks not staying open late.
Yeah.
And outside of Halloween Horror Nights, obviously, but I hope this gives them with the nighttime show coming back. I really hope this gives them a reason to keep that park open until dark.
Yeah. So, all right. Speaking of the next thing, Cinesational, a symphonic spectacular. This will debut June 14th at Universal Studios Florida. This is obviously a new nighttime spectacular. This one sounds really cool because we're finally getting a drone show at a stateside park. We've been seeing Paris, Disneyland Paris,
regional parks throughout the country.
Yeah, some of the regional parks here stateside have even gotten drone shows. But this one, it says it'll celebrate the emotional power of music by leveraging the iconic scores and scenes from blockbuster films, including Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts, Jurassic World, Jaws, Shrek, once again, Ghostbusters, Trolls, Back to the Future, Universal Monsters. So we're getting a monster section in this show, which is really cool. Transformers, How to Train Your Dragon, whoop whoop, woo. E.T., Fast and Furious, the Super Mario Brothers movie, Minions, The Mummy, and King Kong. So this is a really good mix of movies. Yeah, it really is. And then it says the show will feature technology including 4K projections, 228 fountains that reach heights of 131 feet. I already mentioned the 4K projection mapping. And the show will feature, like I said, 600 drones all coming together to envelop guests in a breathtaking display of unforgettable cinematic moments. So yeah, like Janine was saying, this show is really stacked with the movies it's going to feature. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
That is more drones than what Disneyland Paris currently uses for the Sky Parade show.
Yeah.
Still gonna have fireworks in the show. The new fountains that they put in, these are big. It's bigger, more.
They've been doing a lot of work on that fountain
than there was last time, and obviously the projection is going to be higher resolution this time. I'll be interested to see. Clint and I have to talk about this before. Is if they go with a more stylized projections on the water screens, because that seemed to be the one lesson they learned with the Halloween Horror Night shows.
Yeah.
Is that the stylized type of stuff looks 100 times better than trying to just play a clip from the movie on the screens.
I remember during the Halloween Horror Nights one, the Jack one, when Jack was projected on the water screens, it did not look good.
No.
Yeah.
And it seems like this show has been built around the movie music first. I do like the idea of just having more things flowing throughout the whole show. Unlike, the previous show where the Fast and Furious section basically brought the whole show to a dead screaming halt every time.
Which, me, I love my Fast and Furious. I do agree with you there, though. That segment was so weird in that show. And for the Fast and Furious segment, it should be Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
It really wasn't. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. Janine, any thoughts on Cinesational?
I love the scores of most of the movies that are in here. And so being able to see those with all the different technological components, it just, like Barry said before, these are definitely some big jabs at, hey, Disney, look at what we're going to be able to do. 600 drones is crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot of drones.
But yeah, I love the fact that there's also pieces of IP that they know that the fans really, really love, like the Universal Monsters and Ghostbusters, and even more of the Mummy and Jaws coming back. It's just, and E.T. I don't know how I could forget E.T. But all of those just coming together. So it's all the past, the present, and probably things that we're going to see even more and more of in the future, like How to Train Your Dragon, just as an example. But I'm excited. I love these type of shows. I really enjoy the nighttime shows at Horror Nights. So I'm excited. I think it'll be really cool.
I think, like I said, I think they have learned a lot from those previous shows, and just I'm glad that it's going to have more of a breadth of different things. Someone told us they sort of had to fight to get ET into the show.
Yeah.
Because they just wanted to stick with current stuff. And it's like, no, you got to build on the nostalgia. It's like, because I remember I think Clint and I were like, why wasn't Back to the Future in the show? It's like, how do you not put Back to the Future in there?
Yeah.
It's
no,
like
this
one
is
of the most iconic themes that Universal has, is that Back to the Future theme. So
yeah, no, this is a really good mix of old, like Janine was saying, old, new, and some stuff we're going to see more.
That concept art for it just looks insane.
It's beautiful.
Speaking of, for those of you guys watching the video version, here it is.
It looks nuts.
Yeah. Obviously the concept artwork piece has you see Hogwarts Castle in the middle, you see the T-Rex from Jurassic World, and then Jaws over here.
Shark baby.
And then it looks like, I'm hoping, the only thing that made me leery about the drones is these music notes up in the sky.
Yeah.
I hope we see more creative things with the drones and not just like stuff like this, like music notes and stuff. I hope we see like the Jurassic World logo or some really creative
we've seen
stuff.
some creative shapes in the testing that they've done. Obviously, they haven't given away the actual things in the show and some of the testing that's been late night testing that's done. I expect this, it's this French company that's now opened up in Orlando. They did a show for IAPA that was pretty impressive. So it's what they've done at Disneyland Paris, which has been some of the most mind-blowing like drone stuff I've ever seen. It's I think we're in for, I think the Lagoon's finally going to get the type of show that we've always wanted. That really pushes things to the next level.
Agreed. And then, I think Janine mentioned, how in Horror Nights, hopefully we'll get, I'm hoping we get another
Fingers
Marathon
crossed.
of Mayhem this year. Because every single one of those have been great. And, me being biased, the first one being the best.
The first one was the best.
It was.
You're not that biased.
Okay. I got somebody on.
We only got to see the last one a few times. I only got to see it a few times. People didn't get to see it at all. So
hopefully, fingers crossed, we get another Marathon of Mayhem this year with this new technology and the drones. Could you imagine the drones for a Halloween Horror Nights show? That would be pretty spectacular. So moving on. The other big announcement we got was what?
I said, what are we going to talk about?
Oh, are you wearing your Super Nintendo hat? Oh,
I'm wearing one of them. I have a couple.
Of them. We got another Universal Epic Universe announcement. This time it was Super Nintendo World. So one of the ones that, obviously we know a lot about Super Nintendo World already because of Japan and Hollywood, but it's still exciting that we're getting it and it's coming here to Orlando. So I guess we can just kind of go through the things that were announced. I mean, we really don't have to sit here and kind of dissect everything that was announced. Barry, you have been to Universal Studios Hollywood's Super Nintendo World. So maybe we could just kind of go through the things and you can kind of give your thoughts on what you thought about them. At obviously Universal Studios Hollywood doesn't have the Yoshi ride. They don't have Donkey Kong. Their land is very small there.
It's very small.
Yeah, so they don't have everything. Universal Epic Universe's Super Nintendo World, when it opens, is going to have everything. It's going to have the Yoshi ride. It's going to have Donkey Kong, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
It will be the biggest one. It's bigger than the one in Japan too. They have purposely made this one bigger, obvious reasons.
For those of you watching the video version of the podcast that you can find on YouTube, this is the concept artwork for the portal. Or quick refresher. You got the portal here into the world with the yellow, blue, green, red warp pipes. And what's really interesting about this one is you are going to actually be going up an escalator to get into the world. Mm-hmm. So whereas I think Japan, don't you come in on the second story?
You come in on the second story in Japan, and then Hollywood.
You come basically on the ground floor, right? Barry? Yeah. But this one, no, if you watch the animation video, it goes through the portal and there's an escalator right there. So you're going to have to take an escalator to get up into the world. So, and this is new concept artwork of kind of the overall area. You can see Bowser's Castle. You can see Toadstool Cafe, Yoshi's Adventure. And then over on the right-hand side, you can see Donkey Kong Country over there. So just, Absolutely amazing. I'm so excited. This will be my first Super Nintendo World experience. I think yours probably,
Same.
Janine.
Yep.
So I am beyond excited that we're getting the biggest Super Nintendo World here at Universal Epic Universe. The two main attractions in this part of Super Nintendo World are the Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, Mario Kart ride, as everybody calls it. Barry, what did you think about this ride at Hollywood?
I only got to ride it once, but I was completely blown away.
Yeah,
the queue is amazing. The queue itself is amazing. Once you get into Bowser's Castle, it is nuts.
There's a lot of people that tell me that have ridden this ride it's very confusing unless you don't watch if you don't watch like the queue videos and stuff. It's very confusing. Were you confused at all as to what was going on?
But I actually pay attention to everything. No, I think what I loved about this ride is the sets themselves are gigantic. As you go through. The augmented reality stuff works so great because it puts you like you're in the game.
Yeah.
And you're playing the game as you're going through the attraction. And it was just, this is going to be an infinitely rewritable attraction because every time it's different.
Yeah.
As far as you're playing the game and, how well you do it varies every time depending on how well you do. And I thought the graphics looked fine on the augmented reality, but it's also something that can be upgraded over the years too.
Yeah.
It's just, I know some people are like, well, you're just moving through a slow dark lane. It's like, you're not supposed to be paying attention to how fast you're going.
So what's going on outside of
into the game.
The game.
Yeah.
That you're and the environment that you're in. And
it
does a good job of feeling like you're in a Mario Kart game. Rainbow Road was just the Rainbow Road, the main battle at the end. It was just amazing. It's just, I was blown away, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to ride it here all the time. So
Janine, any thoughts about Mario Kart?
So I think from I've watched a ton of videos and a ton of things about it, just solely from being interested and excited about it coming here. I don't think anything does it justice.
Yeah.
Like Barry said, you
video.
actually have to be physically there to be in the augmented reality and to be playing the game. But
I love the YouTubers like holding their glasses up, trying to film and stuff. I'm like,
there's no way.
Yeah.
This is truly an attraction that no video can really show you how this attraction really is.
But I think just again, like the pure nostalgia that it's going to be going through the castle and riding this and seeing all the things from growing up to even still playing Mario Kart a couple of months ago. It's something that I think will be really fun for family and everyone, honestly.
Especially
really
and then the other attraction that, like I said, is not at Universal Studios Hollywood, but we are getting here is Yoshi's Adventure, which is basically a slow moving ride where I forgot the story of this ride. Do you know anything about this? Like, isn't there's kind of like a storyline with this?
Yeah,
ride,
there's a storyline, but I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
You're going on a treasure hunt. You're on a treasure hunt with Captain Toad, I believe. It's been a while since I read it, but I think that was what the one from Japan was.
Yeah, you're in search of glowing eggs.
Yeah.
And then obviously dining, we got Toadstool Cafe, which you guys did you guys did eat there, Barry,
yes,
right?
I did eat at Toadstool Cafe, and it was probably one of the best theme park themed restaurants I've ever experienced, because the entire main dining hall is surrounded by windows, video screens, and you're seeing the little toad guys
making the food
into the kitchen, making the food, and then at some point Bowser and his minions attack, and then you see Mario and Luigi fighting them back, and it's just, and the food we had there was really good. Same thing like Hollywood's, it's gonna be another thing that's gonna be hard to get into.
Yeah, because they have I remember when you guys went, they had a reservation thing or something.
Yeah, we totally lucked out that somebody at the time, I guess now they do virtual reservations, but at the time they had actual paper reservations, and someone who were locals, they weren't staying till later in the day, and they're here.
Oh, that's right, and they gave you the little reservation thing.
No, we wouldn't have been able to go. So,
and then obviously all the meet and greets that you see at Super Nintendo World, Mario, Luigi. For those of you watching the video version, you can see the Mario and Luigi meet and greet here.
Toad.
Princess Peach, Toad. And I think that's about it as far as characters go. I don't think they've introduced anybody other than those main four.
That's the main four there. I'll be interested to see if we get Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong or something in Donkey Kong Country at some point.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to get a Donkey Kong meet and greet. And then obviously the Power Up Band. Barry, did you guys get any hands-on time with the Power Up Band?
Hollywood? I got the Toad one, of course.
Yeah.
And we got to do all the interactive stuff in Hollywood. That is definitely one of the coolest parts of the entire land. You know, not just hit it, you can go around and hit the blocks, but there's different interactive things. And after you do a certain number of them, you get to do the Bowser Jr. Challenge, which is sort of like one of the unsung best things about the entire land is the Bowser Jr. Challenge. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a blast.
And then not pictured in this one is the Donkey Kong and Diddy. They are making a Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong Power Up Band. I quick grabbed this picture off the internet before we recorded here, but yeah, they are coming out with the Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong Power Up Band. Janine, any thoughts on the Power Up Bands?
It's just another thing, like Barry had said about the Mario Kart ride, that there's infinite numbers of ways and things that you'll be able to do to interact in the land. It's just another one of those that it makes you want to come back again and again. And I know that there's going to be a leaderboard. There's a leaderboard too, right? Yeah. And I think I'm super competitive. It's going to be one of those trying to figure out how many things I can get, how many power-ups I can get. But I definitely will be getting either the Donkey Kong or the Toad one once it opens.
Oh, no. I mean, for us locals, it's going to be awesome because it keeps track.
Yeah, you can track through the app
of your coins and everything through the app, and
that's cool.
It will keep track lifetime wise too of all of your stuff. And yes, the one out in Hollywood and the ones from Japan will work here too. So it's and they all work at all the other parks too. That's what I was told when I bought the one in Hollywood. So.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on Super Nintendo World because it's pretty much already a thing in Hollywood and Japan. But I kind of wanted to go over and just kind of discuss things briefly before we moved on to the stuff that we didn't have a lot of information about, which is the new Donkey Kong Country segment of Super Nintendo World, which looks absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to ride Minecart Madness. Coaster looks absolutely amazing. The ride system with the way it looks like it's jumping the track and everything like that. I don't think there was anything really. Let me look here at the description. I don't think there was anything really. It says unique coaster Minecart Madness will send riders on a thrilling adventure where they will experience the jaw-dropping maneuvers that they've seen Donkey Kong and the minecarts perform in the video games, including getting blasted out of a barrel, which you can see in this photo if you're watching the video version, seemingly jumping over gaps as they speed along a rickety track, and so much more. Janine, I think you, like before we started recording here, you really wanted to talk about the height requirement for this ride. So go ahead.
I was shocked that it's 36 inches because I think that that's even smaller than the coaster in How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And again, if something like this could be a kid's first roller coaster, that's just mind blowing to me. Yeah. That was the most surprising part of the entire announcement when watching it. I was like, there's a good chance that like this is going to be my little one's first roller coaster because it is. And it's so neat. There's so many cool elements to it. It's so technologically advanced. Like we're seeing so many other parts of Epic Universe be, but the fact that it's so inclusive and there's so many things that families are going to be able to do and also be thrilling and be unique and be something that they're not going to be able to do anywhere else, literally in the world. It's pretty awesome to be able to see, but it's another thing that Epic Universe is just continuing to, I think, not necessarily surprised because a lot of us who've been following the news have known about what's kind of coming and what's going on, but it's just so incredible what they're putting into this park that it's going to completely redefine Orlando.
Yeah,
definitely. Barry, any thoughts on Minecart Madness?
Oh, I mean, I think it's going to be incredibly cool. I mean, I worry about the capacity, like how bad is the wait going to be for this thing?
I brought that up on Twitter.
I believe the cars hold 6 people, so that'll be interesting. I'll be able to see it looks like from like the main concept art, there'll be some more interactive stuff in Donkey Kong Country that you should be able to use your power up band for. They didn't really reveal any of that, but I gotta imagine there'll be some more interactive stuff in Donkey Kong Country. But no, I think the fact that we're getting this whole giant land and using this new type of technology from I believe it's Set Point. That's going to make it so at different sections it looks like you're flying off the track.
Yeah. It's kind of mind blowing, the technology of how like the coaster cart that you're on is like this. For those of you that haven't seen it, or it's like imagine like a C-shaped bracket, and the real coaster track is underneath.
Yeah,
and then the top of the C is holding the actual roller coaster cart, so it looks like, and then there's a fake track in between that. It's amazing how this whole ride system is going to work. You can see video of it. They released a fly-through animation, which I have up on our YouTube channel. You can actually, there's one part where the camera stops panning and it shows it jumping the track, and it looks so cool. Like it's straight out of the video game. It's crazy.
They've been testing. If you can look online, you can see them testing the one in Japan.
Yeah, there was a clip of them testing the one in Japan, which is delayed now. I forgot. They said they didn't give an exact date. They just said later this year. So, hopefully they get all the kinks worked out and get that thing open, because it was ready to go. And I think they were going to open. I forgot what the original original opening date was. But then they pushed out a press release saying that Donkey Kong Country was being delayed over there at Universal Studios Japan. So hopefully they get that thing. If they ran into any issues or anything, and get it up and going. Donkey Kong Country, I'm excited. The whole Super Nintendo world will be absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to check it all out.
It's going to be one of the biggest selling points for this park.
It's definitely bar none.
So many people. It's
little kids and
I mean, us, we're like, we're excited about everything about Epic Universe, but this is going to be one of the biggest selling points. It's, I remember when they first announced that they were going to work with Nintendo and announced the Japan one, and just,
it's a huge,
you get some people who just like Nintendo, but it's like, Mario after Mickey is the like second most recognized character in the world. So it's like, this stuff is embedded into our pop culture now, and
it's timeless.
I will say, like Hollywood's itself, it was mind blowing, it being in that atmosphere. And even like Sin, who's not the biggest Nintendo fan, was just like blown away, because it's just like the sounds, even if you're not like a huge Nintendo fan, the power up sounds, and that the theme and all that stuff, and it just, you can't help but just be like, feel like a little kid when you walk into the land. So
there's no questions. Janine, anything before we wrap this up and get on out of here about Super Nintendo World?
No, the only other thing though that made me laugh, Barry, when you were thinking, or when you were mentioning the whole capacity piece, there was a whole discussion of people on Twitter of how many block zones do they think this thing's going to have in order to try to increase capacity. So it reminded me of that. But no, I'm so excited. It's been so neat. But I feel like I'm saying that about everything with Epic.
Yeah,
but
it's hard not to.
It's so unique.
It's kind of generic, and it's kind of like you want to say more, but it's just like, this is Universal Epic Universe is just going to be absolutely amazing. And
the anticipation is killing me.
So after this one, we got two more lands. Obviously, we got Dark Universe, and we have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter section to be announced, and they're obviously going to announce more details about the Grand Helios Hotel also.
Yep.
So when we hear more about that, we'll obviously bring it to you guys, and bring it to you when we do, when the Universal announces it. So I think that's it. I think we can get on out of here. And like I said, I'm going to be uploading the Disney Cruise Line bonus episode probably later this week. So look for that, maybe Friday or Saturday. I'm going to let this one kind of up. I'll edit it and get it uploaded, and we'll go from there. So Janine, where can everybody find you online, and anybody follow you on Instagram or anything?
On Instagram, I think I'm jbrant0702. On Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it still, I'm at Janine Brant _. But You can follow me for terrible memes and theme park metal discourse.
Terrible memes. I love it.
Terrible memes.
Those are the good ones, though.
They're the best ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry, where can everybody follow you online?
At Culture and Thrills on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, and Threads.
Blue Sky. Yeah. And obviously with Thrill Geek, Barry, you want to tell everybody where they can follow Thrill Geek and our new and improved slimlined social media plug?
You can follow Thrill Geek at Thrill Geek on almost every major social media platform, youtube.com/thrillgeek. Please subscribe and like our videos. And of course, thrillgeek.com for the latest in theme park and pop culture news.
Yeah, like I said, up on the YouTube channel, I have the Super Nintendo World virtual fly-through that we just talked about. So be sure to check that out. And there's a few other goodies up there that are going to be going up as well. So anyways, guys, we appreciate you all. Thank you guys for listening. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a good review. Many years back when we did this podcast, leave us a 5-star review. We had some trolls that I'm 99.9% sure that these were like trolls, and they gave us like 1-star reviews, and it really affected our rating on Apple Podcasts. So if you enjoy the show, give us a 5-star review and help us get that review rating back up. We would greatly appreciate that.
Yes, somehow Apple figured out that we were back.
Yeah,
they put the old review. The original podcast is gone.
Yeah,
and they put the old reviews, but except for on YouTube, there's some episodes on YouTube.
It was so weird. I saw the old reviews come back up. I was like, oh, this is.
They put 2 and 2 together.
They're like, oh, Thrill Geek podcast from like 3 years ago. Oh, they're back. So, but yeah, if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, take a few seconds, leave us a 5-star review. Maybe I'll allow 4-star. But if you're a grumpy Gus, then just walk away and don't listen to us again. I'd rather you do that than leave us a bad review. So yeah, help us out there, and it every review and it helps the podcast grow and helps us reach more people. So that's the other good thing about it. So.
And
anyways,
next time we will probably have some Disney stuff to talk about.
Yes, I promise. Like I said at the beginning of this recording, we are not a Universal podcast. It's just been, Universal
throwing it at us.
Yeah, they've just been throwing all the stuff to talk about. So that's what we're talking about.
We will bare minimum talk about halfway to Halloween. So.
Yeah, like I said, I'll have the Disney Cruise Line bonus episode up, so that'll be some Disney stuff for you guys. It's really good information about the new destination they're building down there in the Bahamas. So look for that bonus episode and all that stuff. So. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for listening. We appreciate you guys. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Be safe. See you.
Bye, guys.